And we're back. All right, I just wanted to make one more video about personal relationships with like family, just because this is something that's been happening these last few weeks, ever since December, actually. So last month or so, we have as a family. So my mom and siblings and I and dad actually too. We've noticed some things and patterns that I kind of brought up over winter break, when I was in Indiana. And the main thing just comes down to being present, and knowing that the other person that we are talking with or have a relationship, or when they reach out for help or they need something from us, they don't have to worry and question of whether or not we're going to be there for them, right? Like, being present and being available for somebody is, for me, the biggest act of love ever. One thing that we talked about with my mom was just that, there's several different versions of my mom that we've been able to experience in this life. We had the version, I love my mom, but trust me, we're working on this, okay? This is just purely objectively speaking, okay? We have the Molly Mormon mom, of when we were raised. And then we have the mother that was not always present in our life. There's a lot that goes behind that, but that's just a very simple way of saying she was gone emotionally, physically, for a large portion of the divorce, to the point where sometimes we didn't really feel like we had a mother, just because we would be our own parents, literally from the age of like 8 and 12, and so yeah, and so like that, we have that version, but then we also have the version that was beautiful, which is when I came back from my exchange program in Switzerland. She was present, and she was getting baptized again in the church, and she decided she wanted to completely change her life, flip it around, and she did. She flipped her life completely around, and was the most caring, loving mother any of us had ever seen. And it was very interesting, because literally after that, like, you could just feel the family relationships just getting better overall. It was so beautiful. I've written a lot about this in my journals, but you could just feel it. Every single one of us kids felt it. We just all knew that she was there. She was a rock. But the last 2 years or so, there's been things, that have been happening where the families kind of started to really shift away from each other again. For some reason, me, Joy, and Celeste have always been super, super close. I was starting to get closer with Michael up until this last Christmas break because of stupid stuff. And I think he's more so ashamed to talk to me now, because it used to be in like October, September, he was calling me 3-4 times a week just to chat. Super quick call and catch up. But ever since I kind of called him out for some bullshit. No, excuse me, language. As if I don't. Anyways, but I think he's been really radio silent because he knows that I'm kind of pissed at him still. I'm pretty disappointed in him. And the reason that is because it was such a reminder of how mom used to be during the divorce, which is not present. My niece wants her father to be in her life. She wants him to be present. And he wouldn't even pull up on Christmas Day. He wouldn't pull up for anything. And her whole demeanor shifted when I told everybody, I was like, yeah, Michael's not coming. And she just went so sad. Like, it was so incredibly visible. And she was just pissed, sad. And I was just like, dude, oh my gosh, you have a daughter that is dying to have you in her life, and you can't come for 5 minutes. You make some bullshit excuse. And so I guess those main things just kind of like compounded to the point where we were talking about it, and this was just a big topic over Christmas. It's just like this idea of family, like in being present, being there for the other people is so important. It's so beautiful when it actually is real. And like if you think about it, like as bad as it is to say, like you can visibly and perfectly make a list of 5 people you would call if your life was going to hell, right? And there's some people you know for a fact you wouldn't include on that list. And you wouldn't include them on that list because you know they wouldn't show up. And so that's been the biggest thing that we've been talking about in our family, is just this concept of like, dude, we're not all supposed to be purely independent. It's like, no, like, let's do this together, you know, like be there for one another. Just like, I would call my Aunt Jenny before I call Michael. I would call my Aunt Jenny before I call Mom, probably, because I know she's going to be there for me. Right now, I can see that trying to shift. We had a great talk today where we are going to start working on some stuff. And the thing about it, and I love about Mom, is that she is so willing to like grow and improve. And it's beautiful to see this in her, because look, I'm not perfect by any means, but it's so, I think that's one thing I'm grateful, a character trait that I got from her that I completely love and adore, is she is so open to learning and being not criticized, but like critiqued in a way, if it's going to be helpful. And you have to be very careful in how you phrase things. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way. I'm a little too direct sometimes when I say stuff, if you guys haven't already known, but or been able to tell. But like, when Mom, you tell something to Mom with love and compassion of, you know, things that we need to work on, she listens and she will actually work on it. She'll think about it, she'll ponder it. And so I'm grateful for her for that characteristic, because it's so real. And that's a lot of people don't have that type of humility. A lot of people do not have that type of humility. In fact, they would attack you if you tried to do that. And so it's beautiful. But anyways, those are just some thoughts I've been having a lot recently, just because that's so important. And I will say to my kids too, if in the future when I have you, if you ever feel like I am not being present, if I am not trying to make myself available to, if you can't count and rely on me, show me this video so I can slap my own ass, slap my own self. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so there's I guess a note for myself too. So, anyways, enjoy these thoughts of the day, and I'll talk to you another time. Love you. Bye.